All right, hey everybody. So, welcome back. Today I am excited to be teaching you the whole concept of brushes. That's right, brushes are really what makes things happen. And hopefully you're in Photoshop right now. Now, this is a canvas 1000 by 1000, okay? And the brush tool right here is, if you look straight here, okay, in the toolbar, it is about, well, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eighth one down. And if you click on the brush tool, well, first of all, you might also see the pencil tool. You might see these other two. In this class, we're just going to focus on the brush and the pencil tool. So the other tools will be basically at an advanced class, not to inundate you too much, but at any rate, brush tool is where we're going to be focused on. So click on the brush tool. Looks like a brush tool, and here it is right here. Sort of like, as you can see, the video provided by Adobe. All it does is basically allows you to draw in different colors, different kind of styles of brushes. Now, it would really greatly help if you're a painter already, or if you've already had some sort of experience with using a brush. And I say that because, there's different types of brushes with different types of tips. Well, first of all, when you click on the brush tool, let's look at the options bar up here. Okay, so let's zoom in right there. As you can see, first of all, you will notice, oops, if I can get better control there. Okay, you'll see that this is the brush icon. This icon right here, okay, that icon right there is basically the brush tip. And you'll notice that there's a drop down menu over there. Okay, but before I go on to that, let me finish up by saying the mode should be at normal mode. Okay, now there's really no set formula for when to use a dissolve mode or darken mode and multiply mode, things of that nature. We'll go into that when we study photography. But when it comes to brushes right now, at least in this lesson, we're just going to stick to normal mode and leave it at that. Opacity should be at 100. That's uh, how light or how much you can see through an object. Okay, and we'll discuss that. And flow should be about 100%. That's how smooth that we can have our stroke. So let's leave it at 100 just for simplicity's sake. All right, we'll go over the other things a little bit later. First of all, let's click where we want to focus on, and that's this right here, okay, where it says in my screen number 30. In your screen it'll probably be different, and it may even be a different brush. Well, let's go ahead and click on this drop down menu right here, and now you've got a lot of things happening here. Okay, first of all, let me go ahead and to not to confuse you, to kind of collapse everything, or actually kind of like tighten everything up. As you can see, this is the brush right now as we have it. Okay, and if I were to move over the canvas, you'll notice that I've got this plus sign. Now, if you don't have this, okay, let me show you exactly how to get exactly what I have on screen. If you recall, in the preferences, let's go to Photoshop, preferences, okay, all the way down to, let's see, cursors. Okay, let's go down to cursors. There it is right there. So if we click cursors, and you'll notice that right here it talks about brush tips. Now, this is the standard, which looks like a brush tool. This is precise, which looks like a crosshair. But for the most part, we want the normal brush tip. Now, there's full-size brush tips as well. As you can see right here, it kind of goes above and beyond the area that you want to kind of color, but to me that's just not reality. Okay, a regular brush will never paint outside of that. So we want to have a normal brush tip. Okay, as you can see, the width of that circle is pretty much the width of the sample that is created there. Okay, so let's go ahead and select normal brush tip, and the others are pretty much okay. Other cursors, again, choose standard. Okay, and let's press OK. So now you should have that over here, okay? And there is the beach ball, crazy beach ball. That's only when the memory is kind of being in question. So anyway, computer's fine. Let's move forward. So once again, click on this drop down menu here. And as you can see, if the first thing I will show you is the size. This brush right here is 30 pixels. And I can go ahead and click the slide bar more over, okay? And there you see it's actually bigger. Well, let's go ahead and work on it. First of all, choose a color that you can see. Let's go down here to the foreground color. And I'm going to go ahead and click on a color. Let's just choose blue. Okay, I'm going to choose blue. You can choose any color you want as long as you can see it clearly. All right, press OK. And let's click on this drop down menu again. Okay, let's go down back to 30. And by the way, if you don't want to play with the slider, you can just type in 30. Let's go ahead and type in 30 just for time's sake. And as you can see, now I'm going to go ahead and just kind of stroke across. That is 30. All right, so now I'm going to increase this to 60, and I'll just type in 60 there. And already you can see the brush is going to be bigger. As you can see, there it is right there, much bigger. And if I go up to, say, 90, okay, almost there. This time I'm kind of choose 90, press return, and as you can see, it's much bigger there. So it goes from 30 to 60 to 90. Okay, that's how you control the size of the brush. Now I'm going to go back down to, well, I'll go back down to, let's make it 40, shall we? All right. Now the hardness and softness is basically a difference between, like, say, an airbrush as a regular brush. In a regular brush, especially like if you ever painted a wall, like a rolling pin, or like a regular brush where you dip it into the paint and start, painting, you'll have a hardness of 100%. So in other words, watch what I do at 100%. Okay, that means I've got solid paint. Okay, in a digital world, unlike the regular world where when you paint, the more you paint, the softer things get, because the paint is running out or is running dry on the brush. In the digital world, it doesn't run out. So let's go ahead and show you. Let's go ahead and put this up to 100%. Okay, and look at this. If you compare my soft brushes here, and by the way, if you press and hold a shift key, you can create a straight line. Look at this. Whoops. Boy, did I ever create a straight line there. First press shift and then go ahead and click across. There it is right there. Okay, look how solid that line is compared to the other ones. Now let's go ahead and do a soft line. Now maybe some of you have solid lines on the three samples that we created above. So let's go ahead and do a soft line. So let's go ahead and take hardness all the way down to 0. And let's see what happens. Go ahead and click out, and then pressing and holding the shift key. Whoops, boy, that thing I have to press and hold the shift key, and then there we go. You see that? How much softer it is, okay? And you can always use in between, the hardness at 50%, whatever, 49, 50%, and it'll be somewhere in between. So I'm going to first click, and then scroll over across. There we have it. And as you can see, it's sort of like a happy medium between this one and this one. Okay, so that's basically hardness, softness, and size. Now, you might be wondering about this guy here. Look at this. You can actually twirl this around. Okay. Now, in a circle, it won't matter. It will not matter. Here's when it does matter. If I move in a little bit, you'll see that I can actually move this in an angle. And now I can actually go ahead and change and rotate the way the tips work. Now, I actually use this kind because it gives me more control. I love the flow of it. And so watch what happens. I'm going to increase the size a little bit. So let's go up to 55. Okay, now look at the brush now. And if I click and then press shift, Look at that. It kind of goes at an angle. And to me, that's easier for me. Having a complete circle with the same width regardless, the diameter is equal. I like to use an oval shape. Okay, just for me, it's better if I want to color like the tip of a flower, or if I do an adult coloring book or something like that. It's just easier. All right. Well, we're just kind of going over things right now. Okay, so now we're running out of space in this canvas. I may have one more stroke to show you. And yeah, so if I went on the other side here, okay, watch this. Now the arrow is actually pointing to the far right, upper right, and it can go to the lower right, same thing as, you can whatever, but I'm going to click here. All right, and there we go. Okay, and now I'm going to, let me just go ahead and move it. There we go. And you can always tell the angle by this right here, this angle right here. Okay, so actually, and I can even control it from here, if I kind of scrub left or scrub right, okay, it has 43. Let's go a little bit further, 32. And if I click on the drop down menu, okay, you'll notice again it's at 32 degrees. Well, if I keep moving it up, you'll notice that the number changes here as well. So if you don't want to like kind of use your hands or manually set the angle, you can always go here. Some people want the 45 degrees. Let's put it at 45, and there's your 45-degree angle. Now I'm going to click, press shift, and there we go. So it's just you notice how these brushes are kind of at opposite angles right now. Alright, so we kind of ran out of space in our canvas. We can create a new one, but you know what we want to do? Let's do this. Let's go ahead to image, and let's go to canvas size. Alright, so the dialog box appeared here. There it is right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on this middle arrow. Okay, let me just go ahead one more time. I'm going to click on this middle arrow. Okay, that way I'm telling the entire picture to go up, and I'm going to increase the width to 2000. Alright, and then what's going to happen now is that these images here that we created are going to stay on top of the canvas. Everything else will start continuously drawing below them. So press OK. Alright, and as you can see right there, okay, let's just, okay, so as you can see right there, the images that we just created, the lines that we just created are on the top. We'll continue right below it, and you can see a thumbnail of the work that we did right here. Okay, you can see that a little sort of like a thumbnail representative of that. Now let's try a different color. Let's go, instead of blue, let's try red. Okay, so we can go ahead and click on red, press OK. Now let's go back to this drop down menu. Okay, and now you've got a lot of these preset thumbnails. So if you notice right here, okay, you've got different angles, and it'll tell you if you move the cursor over, it'll tell you what each and every one of these are. Soft round 30 pixels. This is I guess that's sort of like not necessarily the 55 right here, and the 40s and the 20 and the 90s. That's the pixels. I'm going to pretty much ignore all that. So what I'm going to do is actually to refer to these folders here. Let's click on general brushes, and as you can see, you've got hard round, you've got soft round. Now I'm going to click on hard round pressure size. Let's click on that, and you'll notice right away the top part changes. It's at 55 pixels, 100%. If I click on soft round pressure opacity, the hardness goes down to 0. Okay, and that's that. But it's pretty simple. Now let's go to other things. Now if you click on any one of these buttons, you'll notice, wow, check out these brushes here. They're all pretty unique. Okay, and again, don't worry about the number, okay, where it says 8, 13. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the lowest one, 8, Kyle Ultimate Pencil Hard. Well, what does that do? Well, if you move the cursor into this area, Obviously, it's not going to be too big. I mean, I can go ahead and let's see if I can go ahead and draw. I'm going to press and shift, and there it is right there. As you can see, it's a thin line. Okay, there it is right there. Okay, let me try a little bit better job there. Press and hold shift and go across. So kind of thin, but I can also go back up here and control the size. I can go up to 54. Well, let's see what happens. If I move the cursor over, I press shift, and then look at that. Now I got a unique kind of a feel. Now let's go the flow. You notice the flow is at 38. Let's see what happens when I bring it down a little bit more. Let's say down to 6. What happens? I'm going to press shift. Notice it kind of looks a little bit smaller. I mean, as far as it looks lighter. Okay, so we're going to go into, let's go a little bit higher. Let's go up to, okay, so let's do that. Press and whoops. Let's click and notice how it gets darker. It's a little bigger. So it kind of controls the amount of ink that goes into the stroke. So I guess that's how synonymous it is. Okay. Let's go back up here and select a different brush. Let's go into let's go into general brushes. Well, these are, I guess we already saw, I guess they're general brushes listed twice. All right, and I don't know why. So I'll have to figure that out. I don't know why, but I guess you can also delete this group. So what I did was, you notice that general brushes here, okay, is the same as the general brushes here. Kind of tricked me a little bit. I don't need two of them. So I'm going to highlight, right click, delete the group. Okay, whoops, didn't do that right away. Right click. And the computer's kind of struggling a little bit. Delete the group. And it'll ask me, do I want to delete this group? Yes, I do. Same thing with dry media. Look at that. Okay, and dry media. Same old brushes. So click, right click, delete group. Okay, that appears. Press OK. We're good to go. So, and the same thing with wet media brushes. So I don't know why it kind of appears twice, but that's okay. We're going to delete it. And that's a good thing because there's too many of these folders. And if you happen to see it, if you don't happen to see it, then you can ignore it. All right, now look at this. Okay, so we've got a bunch of other brushes that you can use. I'm going to go ahead and click on this one, and you'll see, okay, there it is right there. I'm going to choose a different color. This time I'm going to choose dark green, or just regular green rather. Go dark green, there we go. And look at this, I can also just, instead of like going across, I'm just going to go ahead and tap. Okay, so here we go, tap. Oops, not tapping. Oh, there we go. Look at that, that's beautiful. Look at the effect there. Okay, so, and if you don't have the brushes that I've selected, all right, it's quite all right. Just go ahead and use any brush you want. We're just kind of dabbling here. So as you can see right here, it's kind of going all over the place. It's not even green. So it might be a different kind of brush with a different kind of effect. So let me try splatter. Oh, there we go. There's my green. So I'm splattering all over the place, even over the strokes that I've already previously made. Okay, so that is this part here. I'm going to go ahead and continue with another set of brushes, and this time over at Window and Brushes, and that'll be at the next video. So we'll see you there.